Hey guys, how are you? Yes, welcome back to my channel. Yes, it's your girl Nessa, Healing Your Silence, and I'm back with one more live video to bring you to bring you guys some of the most exciting topics on being in a narcissistic relationship or even coming out of a toxic relationship. It might not be narcissistic, but it might be a toxic relationship, and they could find this information pretty useful. I'm definitely available. I do have some availabilities in my schedule, so don't hesitate to book a one-on-one with me. And go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Yes, it's your girl Nessa, and as you know, I'm here to bring you one more video about a relationship with a narcissistic person, or so we think they're people, right? Listen, let's get into it, right? My topic for tonight is talking about being married to one. What is it like being married to a narcissistic person? Oh my goodness. I get asked that question a lot. Like, for example, it's like, if you know that person is no good for you, why don't you leave them? Why don't you stop being in a relationship with them? But what they don't understand is that being with a narcissistic person is not like your regular relationship. It leaves a lot of psychological abuse, damages. Um, you're mentally messed up for a while. So it takes a lot to get down off of it, because now you have to start adjusting to the new reality and to see that whatever you were dealing with, none of it was real. All that gaslighting only made you question your reality. Now you don't even trust your own judgment. And these are some of the things that you don't hear people speak about them pretty often, because they really don't know the magnitude of being in a relationship with a narcissistic person, let alone being married to a narcissistic person. It's not the same. Broken people want to break other people, right? And healed people obviously want to heal other people and see them heal as well too. And I do believe in that saying. I never understood it until I was faced to deal with it for myself. Being married to a narcissistic person, it's like beating a dead horse. I think that's the easiest, like, quick answer, quick way to say it, right? It's like beating a dead horse. So the moment you're in it, all you want to do is keep fixing that person, rebuilding them, keep structuring things. You take on all the burden of everything when you're inside of a relationship with a narcissistic person. But I'm here tonight to let you know that there's ways out of this, and there's a lot of support. Continue to watch these videos, continue to heal, continue to get out of it. Join my private support group so we can start getting the healing process on the way, and a lot more things to come. Marriage to a narcissistic person can be very challenging, and it is a challenging journey to be on. That's not something that I don't wish that on my worst enemy. A narcissist does not understand the concept of mutual respect. They do not know how to respect you or respect themselves. The things that a narcissistic person will do, you wouldn't even believe it, because you're thinking that this is not normal and this is not a real person. Well, instead of engaging in these manipulative acts, they're controlling, they're selfish, they're horrible, they're their ego gets the best of them, because that's how they operate. They don't know how to humble themselves, but instead they sit and they manipulate you, and they plot to see how they can take you down, how they could tear you down, and how they could bring you down to your worst self. They're not people that you want to deal with, because they'll sit back and observe you. They'll listen to you, they'll think about everything that you're saying to them, they'll play repeat and replay in their heads to see how best they can come forth now and destroy you, because all the information that you've provided to them is what they're going to use against you in order to take you down. So I understand that it could be really scary in the dating world, getting into a relationship, because obviously in order to get to know someone, you have to share information and you guys communicate back and forth. And the only way you're going to know someone is if you share information and they're sharing information as well. The difference with a narcissistic person is you start to notice and you'll get a sense of this. So I'm saying this real early so you guys can recognize this as one of the red flags. And I'll do a separate video about red flags. But since we're talking about being married to one, there's some things that you want to see in the beginning, is that you could spot a narcissist in a relationship. And the moment you start to get to know this person, you'll start to realize that there's a delay in them telling you things about themselves. And out of nowhere, it becomes you being the idol in the relationship or the getting to know phase. It's not a relationship as yet. So you're going to notice that you become the prize, you become the idol early. So they'll withdraw from telling you information about themselves, and instead they'll start to listen to you more. So you become this important topic. You become that person that they want to hear so much more about. They want to hear all the things that you have to say. And now they're sitting in the back and being a little bit quiet. And, oh, I just enjoy talking to you. Oh, I love to know. You know how I feel about you. I want to hear so much more information about you. Like, tell me more. Like, I love talking to you. So now you're feeling like, oh my goodness, this person loves to talk to me, but you're the one doing all the talking. And they're listening. And they'll listen and tell you that, yeah, that sounds good. Like I've never met anyone like you before, right? I've never met anyone who's just like me, to make you feel like you're that perfect, ideal person that they've always been waiting for. That's what it's like. So you start to feel so special, so wooed that they've never met anyone like you. And you're this person that's for them. So now they want to have this relationship with you. And you feel like you found that right person for you because that's how they're making you feel. But remember, they're not communicating with you. They're just listening to you and gathering information. And that's an early, very early tell sign. And I don't want you to miss it because you're giving off too much information and you're overly excited. Don't miss it because it's very easy to miss that first sign when they start giving you all these praise and all these credit for things. Rest assured it's going to be followed up by them using this information against you to hurt you later on. They know exactly how they're going to tear you down. They know exactly how they're going to break you down. They know the steps that they're going to take in order to get this thing done. So you now for a second think that, oh, you're just this perfect person for them. No, they have an agenda, they have an ulterior motive, and the motive and the intention is to break you down and to tear you down and to destroy you. Don't miss these early warning signs. Don't miss these early red flags because they're there to protect you and they're there to help you. Don't miss it. With that being said, as a result of going through these selfishness with a narcissistic person and dealing with their manipulative ways, their controlling ways, as a result of that, the relationship will based on the narcissistic needs. So they're going to lower you in and get you in order to tell them as much information because they're going to plot against you to see how best you're going to be satisfying their needs. And once you're not able to satisfy their needs, then you're disposable. You're no longer of any good use to the narcissist. Okay. Their needs gonna have to be met, not yours. And this way, now you're going to realize that you're not in a stable relationship. Now you're going to realize that this is not balanced. It feels so uneven. It feels like you're the only person carrying the relationship. And let's be honest, one person can't bring the relationship. One person cannot carry the whole relationship. So for you to be in a relationship with a narcissistic person that's going to manipulate you, that's going to control you, that's going to abuse you, that's going to verbally disrespect you, there'll be no respect in that relationship. And after a while, you're going to realize that, but you're saying that we're so compatible to each other and we're so good together, and you've never met anyone like me. But if you're like me, then you would have been sharing just as much information as I'm sharing. And that's when it's going to register to you. That's when it's going to click to you. And you're going to say, aha, that was it. That was the moment I thought that everything was okay between me and this person because they were making me feel so comfortable. But that's the point. It's to make you feel comfortable as if everything is okay. And it's to make you feel like, yes, you're winning. And finally you get to voice your voice. You get to voice your concerns. You get to see how you feel. You get to express yourself, right? So that's a part of what they do, but it's all a part of the game to lure you in and to get you hooked on them. And they have to start moving fast because the more, if you get time to think, then automatically you're going to see that what they're doing It doesn't make sense. It's not adding up. But you have to slow down. Go at your own pace. Do not let anyone rush you into any relationship or rush you to do anything that you're not comfortable with doing. Do not buy into this. Don't do it. Take your time. Move at your own pace. Be as comfortable as you want to be, and take your time in any relationship that you're going into. It is very important for you to understand the traits of a narcissistic person before deciding to enter into a relationship with them. If you do not understand the traits of a narcissistic person, you will be hit. You will feel like something just ran over you when you're done. You'll be so crushed because you won't know what hit you. It's like a world war. It's like a world war wind. It will come like a tornado and swoop you up and then knock you right back down. That's what it's going to feel like, but you won't realize it because when you're inside the tornado, everything is moving so fast, it's rapid and it's a rapid speed. But that's what happens with a narcissistic relationship. If you don't recognize the traits of a narcissistic person, you're not going to know when it's creeping up on you. It's going to feel like your knight in shining armor. And you're going to think that this is the man of your dreams or this is the woman of your dreams because we know it goes both ways. But I know mostly my queens, you guys tune into me a lot. And I just wanted to bring it for you, right? But those are some of the things that you're going to recognize with them. Some of the traits that they present and they display to you, it includes the admiration. The admiration that they give you. They give you admiration and then they want you to admire them. Okay. And then out of nowhere, they'll start to make you feel so special. And then they start doing this thing. It's like an excessive display of entitlement. It's like it's so excessive. It's yes, you're the woman for me, and you know what, and we're gonna be doing this, and you know what, I'm supposed to be having you. You're that woman for me, and we're gonna go out, we're gonna do things together. I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that, and they feel so entitled to you, like you owe them something. But they're so good at it. They're professionals at it. So you're not going to know when it's happening. You're not going to recognize when these things are happening, and it's going to creep up on you. So I want you to pay attention to the excessive display of entitlement, admiration, praise, overpraising you. Because once they build you up on that high, they're going to tear you down and knock you right back down. That's what a narcissist is going to do. And you're going to feel so devastated because the purpose of them doing this is to get you hooked onto them. It's like an addiction. That's what they want to get you started with, an addiction to get you hooked onto them. They give you all this excitement, all this pleasure, all these joy, all these things that you've never experienced before. That's what they want to give to you. And then they're going to sweep it away. They're going to rip it from underneath your feet, and you won't even know what hit you. The narcissist won't take responsibility for their action. And that's something that I want you to pay close attention. It's when they're talking to you and telling you about their past or getting to know you and telling you about some of their experiences, you're going to realize that they're never at fault. It's everyone else that broke down everything. If you ask about what was it like in a past relationship, how did it go with your past partner, they'll always give you a story and let you know what that other person did wrong. And they'll never tell you anything about them. So they always have a story ready. Anytime you ask certain questions, they're going to let you know someone else did something. It had nothing to do with them. I want you to pay close attention. Think about who you are as a person. If you're someone who takes accountability for your actions, you'll be able to recognize when other people know how to own what's wrong, own their part that they played in something, and take responsibility for their actions because they want to make a difference. They're looking for something different and they want to make an impact on themselves and the people around them. They want growth. Narcissists do not look for growth, they're stagnant. They're not progressive. You have the ones that are grandiose. Those ones, they love the lavish bragging. That's who they are. But the covert narcissists, that they are deadly, they're creepy, and they're the most common narcissists that are out there. These are the ones that you see in your day to day. Yeah, those are the narcissists that's really active out there more than so. They want to move things fast. They want to either get into your house with you, bed with you. They are really moving very fast. So I want you to be able to pay attention to these things to get to recognize the fast pace. It might seem slow, but just pay attention and make sure you have your plan, your progress of how you want to move things along in any direction. This way, when someone come and is not in a line with your goals as well, and you guys goals don't align, then you know that's not the person for you, because they're pushing up against your boundaries and not going in the same direction that you're going, and you want to pay close attention to things like that. The narcissist, as we already know, they're very aggressive. They have an aggressive behavior, and sometimes it's in their tone, in their text, but you got to know the wording. And not only that, it's that possessiveness that they come with. It's very early on in the relationship. They're very possessive. And you might think it's flattering because you've never had someone maybe show you this level of affection before or cared for you the way they're caring for you. But let's be honest. When you just meet someone, it's very early. What were they doing before you? And what were you doing before them? What's that sudden need for that care? And oh, I'm just so concerned about you. And I'm on top of things. Listen, anyone who has something to lose is going to protect it. You're not going to be reckless with the things that you have to protect. And while you might think that this person is here to protect you, they don't know you as yet to protect you. It takes time to build a relationship, and you need that time to get to know this person so you can see their consistency. You can see who they show up to be. See them in all seasons, if that makes sense at all. Get to know someone in all seasons. So this will give them time to know them and to see how they operate and how they differentiate, how they change with the weather. Like a chameleon, right? How do they change with the weather? How do they handle different seasons? How do they handle times of not being able to do certain activities? How do they handle these situations? You want to be able to recognize these things and to have these experience with a person that you're getting to know and you're dating them. You want to have these experience with them. And over time, all these behaviors that they're showing you, these display of affection, all this excessiveness, I'm telling you, it's going to stop. So I want you to recognize that they are going to get aggressive. They're going to be possessive when they don't get their way. The moment you start to tell them no, or that they can't have something, or you're not going to do something the way they want, they start to get aggressive. Their tone is going to change, their verbiage is going to change, their body language, their actions is going to change. And I want you guys to be able to recognize these things. That's the reason I'm making these videos and continuously being a voice of reason, because we're here and we're in this together. Okay. They don't empathize. So they don't have no empathy. The only thing they do is they care about themselves. They don't empathize with you. If you try to talk to them about a situation, especially being in a marriage, and that's why I'm talking about the relationship itself, right? Being married to them. If you try to talk to them about any situation, it's, oh my goodness, here we go again. You're always complaining about something. So if you're asking for progress or even to talk about anything in a relationship, they do not like to communicate. They have a hard time communicating with you, and they do not show you any reasoning or try to let your feelings be heard or let your voice be heard or feel like anything is being reciprocated. They do not make you feel that way. They are very dismissive. They do not want to hear what you have to say at all. They don't want to hear nothing that you have to say. And that's how the narcissist is going to treat you inside of a marriage. If you think just being in a relationship with them is hard, when you get married to them, it gets worse. Whatever you tolerate or whatever you accept in a relationship is going to be the same thing times more when you get into a marriage with a toxic, unhealthy person, let alone a narcissistic person. It only gets worse. It does not get better. The things that you accept now will determine where things go later on times more. So make the decision now while you can, and you're in the phases of getting to know this person that you're interested in. Take the time to to know them, because based on how they act and how they treat things and how they deal with situations, you're going to know, seeing them through all season, you're going to know if this is a partner for you that you could be with for a lifetime. And I'm pretty sure that's the reason that you guys are looking for love and seeking love within yourself and outside, because you're looking for a lifetime partner. Narcissists, they do this over and over, and they're never settled with anyone, and they repeat these cycles, so it's always on to the next person. They do not resolve any conflicts, and you cannot communicate with them. It's very difficult to have a conversation with them and to communicate. They're dismissive. They don't want to hear anything that you have to say, and it's like, you got to talk about this right now. And even if they dismiss it for a time to say, okay, let's talk about it later, I don't want to talk, they're going to dance around coming back to the topic. They're not going to want to talk about anything. So it's not that they're dismissing it and saying, let's talk about it later, maybe I'm a little bit tired now or something. No, they're not coming back to that topic. They're not going to be talking about it. There's nothing to discuss. And I want you guys to keep that in mind when you're thinking about the things that's happening to you in your relationship right now, or the things that you've experienced, so you could know that you weren't crazy. There's nothing wrong with you. You were experiencing a narcissistic relationship. They're toxic, they're unhealthy, they do not communicate, and they do not value your feelings, and they're not empathetic with you. A significant aspect of dealing with a narcissist is understanding how to set healthy boundaries in a relationship. That's something that's going to be major in a relationship. So if you don't know how to set healthy boundaries in a relationship, then you're just leaving the door open for anything, and they're going to walk all over you, and it's going to feel like you are walking on eggshells. You're going to feel very uncomfortable, you're going to feel very uneasy, as if you're walking on eggshells. So I suggest, if you're going to be in a relationship with this person, whoever you get in a relationship, set healthy boundaries from day one. If you're not comfortable with certain things, then let it be known you're not comfortable with certain things. If some things are red flags to you and they don't align with your values and your goals, then they're red flags. You do not paint the red flags white or try to make them green. Do not make excuses for people and filter and fill in words for them. No, whatever you see is what it is. Accept people for who they are and don't try to change them, because you'll realize later on that people are showing you exactly who they are. And I know this could be really difficult, especially with a narcissistic person, to try to set boundaries with them. This could be very, very difficult because they're not going to tolerate it. The moment you try to set a boundary with the narcissist, you're now creating an injury for the narcissist. So now they have to follow rules. Are you kidding me? A narcissistic person, they have to follow rules. Let me tell you something. You try to give the narcissist rules to follow, you're going to pay. They're going to punish you and you'll pay for it, believe it or not. I'm pretty sure I have a community of people that can vouch for this and let you guys know that it is true. It is so. They do not, they don't respect boundaries. Let me put it like that. So you're trying to give them boundaries, they don't respect boundaries. That's torture for them. That's torture. That's torment. They have to follow rules and boundaries, or you're not going to be too happy with this narcissistic person, because you now giving them rules and orders to follow. But guess what? It's very early. It's very important that early in a relationship you try to set these boundaries. It's very important that you do this early on, because if you don't set these in place, I'm telling you, they will walk all over you, and they will not hesitate to do just that. You have to know what you're okay with and what you're not okay with. If you're not okay with someone treating you a certain kind of way, do not accept it, because you're not okay with it. Pardon me, guys. Hydration is good for me. I know I've been talking for a quick little minute. Oh my God. Listen, guys, I appreciate you guys so much for hanging out with me tonight. And I know I kept going on, but I wanted to keep this video very informative and to provide you with as much information as possible, and to let you know that Answers are right here if you're dealing with a narcissistic person, if you're going through a narcissistic relationship and you're not sure where you can turn to or who you can ask for answers to your questions, feel free to ask me questions. I try to come on here live as often as I can so that I'll be able to answer your questions and to be here to support you while you're going through what you're going through. Go ahead, guys, hit the like button and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already subscribed to this channel. And thank you guys so much. I thank you a million for bringing my channel up to over 700, right? I so appreciate that so much, that you guys, because of you, your help and your support has brought my channel over to 720 something right now. I appreciate you guys so much and just wanted to take this opportunity to say thank you. Listen, okay? Okay, so I know we were talking about some of the boundaries to set healthy boundaries with a narcissist. And I know, like I said before, dealing with it in the beginning or any time at all, it can be very difficult because the narcissist does not want to abide by anybody's rules but their own. They're not empathetic. They don't want to hear what you have to say. They really don't care. They're only self-centered and they really just think about themselves. So you're not as important to them as you think you are because that's just in the beginning. They're going to bring you on a high to make you feel all that special. They're going to do fancy, nice gestures for you and to make you feel super special. And then they'll pull that all from underneath you and you'll be left with that high, wanting to get back that high. And that's how they get you hooked because now you're going to be chasing them, trying to get back that feeling that they gave you in the beginning that was not real to begin with. But now you're married to them. Now you're in a marriage with them. Now you're in a relationship with them. And now you're here suffering with them. Some of the ways how they torture you is by ignoring you. And that's the different kind of silence with a narcissist because a lot of times you think that they're ignoring you just because they're upset with you or you did something wrong. A lot of times their silence could be something completely different. Their silence could simply mean that they're working on a new supply. They have someone else that they're talking to. They have another relationship going on and they need time away from you because they've gotten enough supply from you so that they can take your energy and pour it into someone else. So oftentimes when you see a narcissist being silent, the silent doesn't mean that you did something wrong oftentimes. Sometimes it's just a simple fact that there's someone else that's lined up and they need all your energy in order to go make that new impression on their new supply. So think about the things that's going on in your relationship with this narcissistic person. And a lot of your questions will be answered when you start to observe these things. In a healthy relationship, it does not look like that. That's not what a healthy relationship looks like. Narcissists will have to create fights and disagreements and distance with you because that's how they create that bonding with you. They create that separation and pull you back in, but it's normally punishments. You'll start to know that things start to go downhill. They'll start ignoring your messages, ignoring your phone calls because they want you to feel guilty that you've done something wrong. But in reality, they're the one who's up to no good, but they can't tell you that because if they do tell you that, of course, you're not going to want to be with them, right? So I know one thing that the narcissist that I was married to did was that if he called my phone and we had a disagreement on the phone, he would call my phone back maybe 20, 30 times, 50 times if he needed to. And I'm not answering it. But you'll come back to your phone blown up because that's what they do. They call you constantly, this immediate need for you to answer them now. You don't have the right to miss their phone calls or to do anything else. You don't have that right. All that's taken away from you because that's how they get control over you. And that's that power that they get over you. They'll also decline invitations to go places. Oh, got it. Yeah, I got a call back. Sorry about that. It's, I have a upcoming trip shortly, so after I'm done filming here, then I'm heading out for my trip. So definitely doing a nice little road trip, okay? So I would love to bring you guys with me, but as you know, we got to do this here now, right? Yeah, they'll do things to sabotage your relationship. They'll do simple things like even declining invitations to be around family functions or family events and stuff like that. They'll purposely do these things because it's going to upset you. It's going to make you feel uncomfortable, but that's how they get under your skin and that's how they get control over you because what? That's the only way a narcissist is going to win is when they have control over you. It's when they're manipulating you. So they're doing all these tactics in order to hurt you. It could be a funeral, it could be a death in the family. They'll find a way to make sure that they're torturing you and getting under your skin. And mind you, this is supposed to be your husband, this is supposed to be your partner, this is supposed to be your wife for the men, right? Because I know a lot of times it's not the men on here, but I still have to show you guys love because you guys are my loves, okay? So even going to events and stuff like that, if they do go, huh, and I know you guys can attest to this, if they do go to that event with you, they're torturing you. They're sabotaging that event. There's a show going on pretending like everything is nice and good, but behind the scenes, you know it's unhealthy. They're embarrassing you. If they're not drinking, getting drunk at at the event, they're embarrassing you. I have my own experience. I know. And it's nasty. Going home to an argument, a fight, anything. It's horrible dealing with the narcissistic person, especially when you're married to them. The torture, I tell you, in the relationship or dating that person, you're going to see some of these things. So I'm trying to put out as much information as possible so that you guys can see what it's like dating one, being in a relationship with one, being married to one. It gets worse. But if you're at the stage of getting to know someone and you know these things to look out for, then you'll be able to deal with it. Then you'll be able to overcome what's going on. Then you'll be able to know that you dealing with this narcissistic person, you don't have to be in this thing for long. You don't have to be here for too much longer because what? The narcissists, they break. They do break. But you got to know how to break them. When you know how to break a narcissist, you have gained back your power and your strength, and you now know how to overcome the narcissist. But learning these simple tips will help you to recognize them, and you could get rid of them as early as the first week or two of dating a narcissist or talking to a narcissistic person. I guarantee you the information that I'm providing to you here, you will be able to weed them out as early as 2 weeks without having any regrets, without looking back or feeling that you've made a mistake. I guarantee you. Because if you do the simple steps and the things that I've taught you before, and the simple tips and the observation piece of things, and I don't try to give off all that information here on my channel. I do it privately in my one-on-one coaching sessions. That's where I give most of those information because if I give it here, they're going to master us. They're going to knock us down. But I'll give as much, so it's still good enough information. But the tips and the secrets to things, I'm not going to provide it on here because I already know what they're doing. Don't you? They're listening to these videos. They are watching these videos. They want to know what we're talking about and how are we mastering them? How are we overcoming them? And how are we outsmarting them? So they're listening to these videos. So don't feel like they're not listening to it. Okay. Trust and believe they're listening because they want to know exactly what is it that we're doing so that they can outsmart us. We don't have to give them too much. We'll give them just enough because guess what? I still need to create a platform for everyone to be able to come and get the information and get food for their soul, get food for their spirit, get knowledge so that they'll be able to overcome this demonic force because it is a demonic force. It is an attack on your soul. It is an attack on you because this demonic force came to steal your soul. It wants to see you miserable. It wants to see you unhappy. It wants to see you sad. So, yes, this is an attack on your soul. Yes, this is an attack on you. So, you have to be wise. You have to use wisdom and knowledge and use the experience in order to overcome and to beat this thing. You're not alone in it, and you won't be alone. And I don't want you to be discouraged that you've made a mistake. It's a part of your experience. because it's going to strengthen you. It's going to give you that strength that you're going to need in order to continue on, in order to go on to the next chapter of your life, because you're going into that chapter of your life stronger and better than before. So I don't want you to feel discouraged at all that you're not doing things good, or that you've messed up because you're in a narcissistic relationship or you're dealing with a narcissistic person. It's okay. But pay attention to the red flags and the warning signs. I'm telling you, they're all there in the beginning. They're all there in the beginning. I provide a lot of information and tips for you to recognize certain things, certain tell signs. They have a lot of giveaways about them. A lot of giveaways. I'm not going to sneak out everything on here, but I already know they're giveaways. You'll be able to spot a narcissist. Some of them are so obvious. And I know they don't like me too well. I already know it, and it's okay. But I love y'all though. I love y'all for showing up consistently, being that narcissistic person, because I'm going to continue to expose y'all. So you don't have to like me, and that's okay. And I'm all right with that. But I'm going to continue to show you up, and I'm going to continue to expose you, and I'm going to continue to display the information that I see and I recognize and I learn. I have so much more to provide. Hmm. Going on dates with them. I'm definitely gonna let you guys know about this. I think I need to put this in a show for next week or sometime, right? To let you know about going on a date with a narcissistic person and unwrapping them, okay? And leaving them in their torture. You gotta know how to do it, because you won't know you're dealing with a narcissist. But I know I can recognize them. I see them a mile away. They don't like me though. But I always let them have their way because, they always do. Okay, listen, guys. I'm almost getting ready to go on my trip, but we still have some more time to hang out together. Okay. Another part of dealing with a narcissistic partner or being in a narcissistic relationship is to understand that you got to take care of yourself. I know I talk about that all the time, to take care of yourself. Right now, I'm doing my fasting. I don't know if you guys know how to do that, or if you guys fast. If you want to join me privately to do a fast with me, let me know. We could do a 7-day fast, a 5-day fast, a 21 day, 14 days, whatever you would like to do. We could definitely do something like that together. But learn how to take care of yourself, especially if you are dealing with a narcissistic person or trying to get out of that narcissistic toxic relationship. I want you to understand that taking care of yourself is very important. It's vital to getting back your mental health in the right place where it's supposed to be. Taking care of yourself is a very, very important. Self-care is going to be at the top of your list next to God. Self-care is going to be at the top of your list, getting yourself back in order and getting yourself back under control, because that narcissistic person is going to tear you down. They're going to destroy you. They're going to break you down to pieces, and you're going to be left with all these broken pieces trying to put them back together. But even though you're dealing with all these broken pieces, you are perfectly made. You are perfectly made. Those perfectly broken pieces are the pieces that God uses to put back a whole person together again. It's okay. Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall, right? And all the broken pieces that he had, right? They said they couldn't put him back together again, but God can do anything. All things is possible through God. So I'm not worried about the things that man can't put back together. God can do just that. So all your broken pieces that you've been experiencing and that you've gone through, he'll put you back together again. Don't worry about it. Being married to a narcissistic person can be extremely draining. It's going to drain you mentally. It's going to drain you emotionally, psychologically, and physically. It's going to have a physical stress on your body. Sometimes you'll be experiencing medical illnesses that the doctors can't tell you what it is because they can't see it. because stress is something that you really don't see, but it has an impact on you. It brings a lot of sicknesses to your body because the body is not flowing freely and is able to function at its best. So now you're left dealing with this brokenness. Now you're left dealing with all these things from the narcissistic person. And you don't even understand why you're going through these things, but it's because dealing with a narcissistic person has a lot of psychological, mental damage, physical damage on you. You're going to be left in so many, you're going to feel so drained, like dead, like with no life. You're going to be lifeless. That's what it feels like. If you guys haven't already felt this way, that's what it's going to feel like. And it's going to take a toll on you. It's going to take a toll because you're in this relationship by yourself. Remember what I said earlier on, right? That they gather as much information about you. So you're the only one sharing, and you're at a high and excited, and you're sharing all this information and providing all this information to them. You're on this high, providing it, giving off this information. But then guess what? What you think is happening? They're taking everything in for fuel. You're fueling the narcissist by giving them your all, your energy, your enthusiastic, your plans, your goals, directions, what to do, everything. You're fueling them and you're feeding them and you're nurturing them. And that's the part that we don't realize where we're messing up, because that's the role and responsibility of a mother, to nurture their child. It's not your responsibility, but it feels so good. It feels so exciting. No, that's not a whole person. So now you're taking your whole self and splitting you in half to share you with the narcissistic person. Now you're going to be left as a half person because you've shared yourself with them so much and they're just taking from you. So now they're whole. And the moment they're now pouring into someone else that they're trying to impress, the new supply, they're going to take that half that they took from you and provide it to that other person, and they'll still be left drained. So once the impression part of that person is done, they're on to the next supply and they come back to you for more. So now you're even less than half the percentage that you were once before. But that's what it's like dealing with a narcissistic person. That's what it's like being married to a narcissistic person. It takes a lot of toll on you. It destroys you. It breaks you down. It might seem like I'm smiling, but I'm really not smiling. I'm just thinking, my wheels are spinning as we speak because I'm thinking back to how much I was that person. I was pouring all of me into that narcissistic person. I was giving all of me to the narcissist, to be left with nothing, to be left broken and distraught, to now have to start to rebuild myself, my life over. I was once that person too. So taking the time to acknowledge what your role and your responsibility in the relationship with the narcissistic person is going to be essential to you, because having a narcissistic partner cannot do anything good for you. It leaves you feeling guilty, not the narcissistic person, because you're going to feel as if, what else could I have done? What else could I have done to make this relationship work? What else could I have done to make this relationship better? And you're going to sit there wanting to know that you could have done some things different. You could have done some things better. The reality is, there's nothing that you can do to fix this narcissist. There's nothing that you can do to restore this narcissistic person or to make them feel like you did something. You could have cut off all your limbs and done things and reconstruct yourself. It's still the same with the narcissistic person. They didn't value you to begin with. They're not going to value you now. And that's just what it is for them. The truth, they don't like themselves. And if the person don't love themselves, how they're going to love you? If they don't like themselves, how they're going to like you? They're actually ashamed of who they are. They're ashamed to look in the mirror. They're ashamed to know that who they are, the monster inside of who they are. They're ashamed to face that person in the mirror. The narcissist is ashamed of themselves. They don't like to look in the mirror and to reflect on who they are. Their accountabilities is zero. They do not take accountability for their actions. And you're no different. They don't value you because looking at you, they don't like the peace and the happiness and the joy that you naturally bring to the table. It's torment for them, it's torture for them. They don't like you, not for a second. Check in the comment sections. Look and see amongst other people like yourself, and you'll get to see that they do not like you. It's a community of people that are dealing with the same thing. They do not like you one bit. They don't like the person looking back at the mirror because it's empty. There's no one looking back at them when they look in the mirror. It's empty. So that's why they want to look at you because they want to copy you. They want to mimic you. They want to imitate you. So they're looking at you because they don't have a sense of belonging. They don't have a sense of identity. So they want your identity. They want to be like you. And looking at you gives them that satisfaction. Looking at you brings them that peace. Looking at you gives them a fulfillment of what they don't have. They're empty inside, but looking at you gives them fuel. So little do you know that the narcissist needs you more than how you need them. But because you don't know the mantle that you carry, because you don't know the worth that you have, you think you need the narcissist more than how they need you. No, the narcissist needs you more than how you need them. They don't have a sense of purpose. They don't have a sense of belonging. They have nothing. But looking at you gives them hope, give them a reason for continuing on what they're doing. That's what it does for them. So you might not think that you're so valuable. Best believe it that you are. And it's very important that you partner in a community of people that is going to be able to help you, a support group, a support system that's going to be able to help you. It's very important that you take this seriously and put your health first because this will deteriorate you from the inside out. There are many support groups. I have a support group right now. It's called Feminine Divine Healing. And it's my private Facebook group that you could join that group. I'm not charging anything for that group right now. It's absolutely free that you'll be able to get the emotional support that you need and to be with a community of people who have had narcissistic relationship as well and can give you pointers and tips there as well too. Join my free private Facebook group where you can have that support as well too. And in addition to that, there are many other therapists that's available to you and that are expertise in these areas. I'm a life coach as well too. You could book a one-on-one session with me and I'll be able to help you and give you more tips and insight on how to get out of these relationships and how to get out safely because not oftentimes people make it out alive. It's not safe being with them. It's not safe being married to them. Plenty times I wanted to leave, and I'll get asked the question, why didn't you leave? Why did you stay? You can't just leave. You can't. It's not easy to leave those kind of relationship. It takes a lot of preparation, a lot of planning, and you also have to have a strategy, be very strategic in order to get out of this relationship safe. So those are some of the tips that I give in my private group. Those are some of the things that I provide to you guys to let you know how to do this safely because you need to be able to get out of this safely and in one piece. And when you get out, not to be looking over your shoulder in fear and not to be worried that this person is going to hurt you because all they've done is instill fear in you this entire time throughout the relationship. Is drive fear in you because that's the only way they can control you is to drive fear in you. Narcissists are not good people. And I'm not speaking about them because I'm angry with them. No. But I'm speaking about them because after going through a narcissistic relationship myself, I want to provide that insight to you so that you be able to see the things that goes on in a narcissistic relationship so that you be able to get the advice that I'm providing to you and learn how to navigate these situations should you be faced with one at any time. I want to be able to provide that support for you, be that supportive system so that you guys can be able to walk out of this strong, get out of this healed, get out of this whole, and become the greatest version of yourself. You are so valuable and you are so worth it. And little do you know that the narcissist has no purpose than to destroy you, other than to steal your soul, other than to replicate you, other than to mimic you, other than to try to be like you. But why would they want to be like you if you're nothing good? If you're no one good, if you have nothing good for you going on for you, why would you think a narcissist would want to be like you? Why would they want to imitate you? Why would they want to mirror you? Why would they want to replicate you for what? Why would somebody admire someone? Why do people recognize people and have them as role models or inspiration or motivation? Because there's something about them that drives them, that encourages you to do things. So you want to be like that person that motivates you, that inspires you to be better. That's who you are to the narcissist. But it's hard because you don't know how to be that for yourself. And I get it. I totally get it. And I sympathize. I'm not harsh on people who are leaving out a narcissistic relationship or toxic relationship because I know the impact that it has on you. I know how hard it is to get out of it and how devastating it is at times to even find yourself or find your voice or even to share with people. I used to talk to the wrong people. I used to share my business, share what I was going through, share my pain with people. But then I realized because when you start to share the information with these people around you, you'll realize that you're looking for support from people who does not support you. That was something hard for me to accept. But when I realized that whatever I shared with them was now being used as a weapon to throw it back in my face, I realized I did not have the support from the people that I thought supported me. So don't go looking for support from people who don't support you. And don't love people who don't love you back. Okay? Love is freely given to you, so freely give it. And people that don't value it and don't want it, don't keep giving it to them. Don't keep introducing it to them. Be comfortable with who you are. Be confident in who you are. All your flaws, your insecurities, the things that you're not comfortable about, be comfortable with them because those are the same insecurities that the narcissists prey upon in order to control you, to make you feel less than, and to make you feel more insecure so that they can control you and use it as a weapon and remind you that nobody else out there is going to want you but them. That's a lie. Don't believe it. Not for a second. Don't believe the lies that they tell. Now it's time for you to unlearn these things and to start doing things a little bit different. Now it's time for you to start doing things much better. And you'll realize and see that you had all the skills all along. You had all the gifts all along. The narcissist just wanted to be just like you. But now that you're able to unlock these skills and unlock the things that are about you, you're starting to realize how powerful you are, how strong you are, and that you're more than what you've settled for. And the red flags that you've ignored before, you won't ignore them going forward. Married to a narcissist can be tiring. Being married to them can drain you. It's tiring. It's disheartening. It's also emotionally draining. It takes a toll on you. It messes with your finances. It messes with your bills. It messes with your relationship with other people. It is devastating being in a relationship with a narcissistic person. But all hope is not lost. All hope is not gone because there is tomorrow. You are here today. You are alive and you are well. And I want you guys to remember that you have a purpose and you are important. You are valuable. And I want you to understand that it is very dynamic for you to engage in different strategies that's going to help to protect your emotional well being, that's going to help you to protect your emotional state. Your state of mind, if your head is not in the right place, your performance, your production is not going to be at your best. So I want you guys to remember that it's important for you to make sure that you take care of your health. I can't stress this enough. Self-love, self-care, your well-being is very important. Setting healthy boundaries is very important. Understanding what your needs are is very important. Seeking the right help, partnering with the right community is very important to who you are as a person. This would help you to better yourself and to see that whatever you've been experiencing, it's legit, it's valid, and not to worry too much about the fact that you think that you can't get out of it. The reality is you are doing just fine. I'm going to try my best to put out more videos out, especially the morning videos of morning encouragement, of encouraging words, to be able to share this information with you guys. I appreciate you guys always for supporting your girl. Okay. For always being there for me. And I know I didn't do a lot of shout out in the beginning of the video, but let me give a special shout out to Miss P. Miss P, thank you for always supporting me and being there for me. I can't tell you thank you enough. Leandra, I know Connie Barnes being here. I know Chelly's in here sometimes. I know Carol being here sometimes. Kaya, um, Demetria. I mean, so many of you guys, if I didn't say your name just now, know that I love you guys so much and I appreciate all the love and the support. And I couldn't have done this without you guys being there to support me and to continuously encouraging me and to lift me up in everything that I'm doing. By the grace of God, we are going to be better. By the grace of God, we are going to be healed. We are going to be recovered from this narcissistic relationship, from this narcissistic abusive relationship. We are going to get out of this stronger and better than you can even imagine. Partner together. Let's be a great support system to each other. Let's reach out to one another. And that's why I created this group, so we can have a community, so that you guys would be able to reach out to each other, to be that support system for each other. You are not in this alone. You are not by yourself. I don't want you to feel discouraged. I don't want you to feel like there's no hope for tomorrow and this is it. This is not it. You have a lot of things to do. You have a lot of things to finish. You have a lot of unfinished business to take care of. And the more you stay consistent and the more you stay committed to your goals, your dreams, your desires, is the better it's going to be. Is it going to be hard? Yes. Is it going to be challenging? Yes. Is it going to feel like sometimes you can't make it out? Absolutely. But stay consistent. Having self discipline is so important. It's going to help you to unlock the person that you are and the person that you are becoming. Your experience with a narcissist is here to build you stronger and to bring you through what you've gone through and what you've experienced. Going through this is not an easy thing. It takes a strong person to do it. It takes someone with strong guts, a strong will, a strong desire. It takes a strong person to be able to go through this. So you are not alone, and you won't be alone going through this experience. You were built for this. You have the strength to go through this. You have that strength that you're able to recognize these things. You're able to be forgiven. You're able to be loving. You're able to be kind. You're able to be patient. And if you remember, one of the fruits of the Spirit is long suffering. If you've been through a narcissistic relationship or being married to a narcissistic relationship, then you have mastered long suffering. You know exactly what it's like going through long suffering, because that's exactly what it's like in a narcissistic relationship. So if you're someone who if been in a relationship with a narcissistic person, then you already have kindness in you, because you have to give so much to the narcissist. You have to give to the narcissist. You have to feed their spirit. You have to feed their soul, and you have to be patient, because you're not giving up. You don't give up so easily. So you're a loyal person. You don't give up so easily. But these are some of the things that don't get recognized inside of a narcissistic relationship, because you're being hammered every day for not being a good person. You're not recognized for the good that you're doing at all. So I get it, and I sympathize with you, and I completely understand. But you're loving, you're patient, you're kind, you're humble. And even when you get rowdy, it's a difference, because you need to have these skills in order to be in a relationship with a narcissistic person. You have to have these qualities in order to be able to deal with a narcissistic person. So far, you are doing an amazing job. You're doing an outstanding job. And I commend you for doing what you're doing. I love you guys all so much. Listen, listen. Don't forget to hit the like button. Share this content with anyone that you know this can help them, this can benefit them. Go ahead and share this information out. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already done so. I know I post a lot of shorts on there to provide you quick snap information really quickly because I already know just like that information comes and it goes, and the time you take to listen to this hour video, right? A lot of times we go 2 hours, sometimes we go much longer. But every time I come on here, I just want to share some information and bring you some insight on how to deal with a narcissistic relationship and how to heal from a toxic, narcissistic, unhealthy relationship. You're going to be fine. Stick with these videos, continue to show up, and I'm going to continue to show up. You show up, I show up. We show up for each other. You want it, I provide it. I bring it, you watch it. We keep going back and forth, and we be here as a support system. We're going to take this on to the next level. In the